Helen here from NurtureMamas.com. Just wanted to do a few exercises to help women in pregnancy who have pelvic girdle pain or SPD, which can manifest itself as pain right at the front of the pubic bone or right at the back, right in between the SI joint or at the really low back. Pelvic pain can be diagnosed through a women's health physiotherapist, either in a clinic, privately, or through your hospital where you're attending. It can start around 27 or 28 weeks on your first pregnancy at this stage, or if you have other children at home, it could actually start a lot earlier. So I'm going to do 4 exercises today with a final breathing exercise at the end. And the first one I'm going to do are small hip circles. So you can make yourself a little bit more comfortable, like I've done with some rolled up blanket. You can use some cushions or pillows. And then come down onto the hands and the knees, around hip width distance or so apart. And we're literally just going to start to move the hips around in a circle. So you're sticking the bum up, around and down, but all the movement is in the pelvis. So you're moving the pelvis freely in a circle, all the way around. You can breathe in, and then as you come forward, and then exhale all the way around. In, exhaling around. Just going in the opposite direction. So just going all the way around in both directions. We're then going to move on to a variation of cat-cow, which we do a lot in our yoga classes, except we're not going to move too much of the upper body, so the focus will be very much around the lower back and the pelvis. So in the same position, if the wrist gets sore at all, you can come up onto the knuckles or onto some blocks or cushions if you have them. So we're going to take a breath in and then exhale, moving the pelvis, so rounding the low back and moving the pelvis, tucking it under. And then you're coming back the opposite way, sticking the bum up. Exhale, then rounding the low back, keeping the upper back still. So we normally tuck the chin down to the chest, but for this specific, just focusing on the pelvic pain, this is all we're going to do. So rounding the back, you can even give yourself a little gentle squeeze in those lower tummy muscles, the TA, the transversus abdominis muscle. Inhale again. Sticking the bum up, belly down. Exhale, round, drawing in on the pelvic floor. Inhaling, release the pelvic floor. Exhale again. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor. Last one. So you can do those for a few minutes. So the first one, the hip circles, the second one, the variation of the cat-cow. So for this third exercise, I'm planting my feet firmly down on the ground. The knees are pointing to the ceiling, and you want to just get comfortable here so you feel solid. You can sit on the edge of a cushion or a rolled up blanket like I am, or you can take it away, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. So to start, I'm going to bring my hands to give me a little bit of stability underneath my knees and just looking forward. So nice and strong through the tummy. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're tilting the pelvis and rounding your lower back, coming down to a point of comfort, and then coming all the way back up again. Breathing in, exhaling, rounding the low back, coming back up to breathe in. So what you'll notice is that my legs are still coming slightly towards each other, so they're not falling outwards to the side. Okay, so you're imagining, or you can even grip a couple of cushions in between your knees or a yoga block as you round and roll. So you're rolling on the sitting bones. So that's the third exercise. The next one is going to be a bridge pose on the ground. So you are lying on your back. If that's very uncomfortable for you, you can omit this one. Okay, so for bridge pose, I'm supporting myself with a rolled up blanket. You can have cushions or pillows. You could also pop one under your hips if you're comfortable. At any point you feel a little nauseous, particularly if you're going in towards your third trimester and this is not comfortable, just roll onto your side and we'll omit this one. So the knees are pointed to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. Your legs are about hip width distance. If your bump is getting quite big, you might want to go a little wider on the feet for comfort. So we're going to engage the pelvic floor muscles as if you're lifting them up towards the heart, and then slowly start to round the back and lift up. You can go as high or low as you want to, and lowering back down. So you'll notice that I'm not popping my knees out to the side. So you'll take a breath in, exhale, engage the pelvic floor, and then slowly peel the back off the floor. Okay, so you're taking a breath in, exhale, engage the pelvic floor, and moving one vertebra at a time up and down. So you're trying to visualize that you're squeezing something in between your knees, like a nice Pilates ball or a few cushions. That can just slightly switch on the inner thigh muscles and slightly roll towards the knees towards each other. So here I'm just giving you the example of having a few cushions, a yoga block or something, whatever you have at home, in between the knees, and you're just nice and firm in the feet, and the knees are still pressing to the ceiling. So you're very slightly gripping the cushions. Breath in, engage the pelvic floor as you exhale, and start to roll the hips up and roll back down. And then taking the cushions away, making sure your knees are towards each other, coming onto the side, and sitting back up. So they're 4 pretty simple but very effective exercises if you are experiencing any form of pelvic pain, SPD or a pelvic girdle pain in the front or the back of the pelvis. So we talked about the ball at the start of the video. If you prefer to do the hip circles, the first exercise on the ball, or you can just do it as a 5th exercise, you could sit on an exercise ball like this instead of being on the hands and the knees. The important thing about the exercise ball is you want one that's big enough for you, that's fully blown up. Generally a 65 centimetre anti-burst one is a good option. This one is actually not blown up fully, so what you want is that your knees are lower than your hips. So as you're sitting on, you want to be up a little higher so that the hips are up higher than the knees. So what you do is literally it's the same action as you would have done on the hands and the knees. So you're moving in a circle. So you're bringing your hips around to the front and then sitting back on the sitting bones. So you're rolling forward and exhaling around. Inhale forward, exhale around. So the action is all in the pelvis. Inhale forward and exhale. And then just swapping circles, swapping direction. Okay, so really simple, going with the breath. And you can do this as well, it tends to force you into good posture when you're sitting on the ball. So if you find at home, particularly as you go through towards the second half of your pregnancy, a lot of the times there's a tendency to want to just slouch back into your couch after a hard day's work or when you're sitting down to relax in the evening. And that's actually really bad for your posture, how the baby's lying. So forcing yourself onto a ball is actually really good for the posture. So we want to just finish off with a word about breathing properly. So the diaphragm is actually linked to your pelvic floor muscle. And what you want to do is most people don't actually breathe fully and completely during the day. So what we want to do is think about when you breathe in through the nose, you want to direct the breath down into the base of the lungs so you can actually feel the belly lifting outwards, and then as you exhale, just allow it to relax back down. Then you also want to think about the rib cage. As you breathe in through the nose, you want to see and feel the rib cage moving out slightly to the left and the right. And then as you exhale fully and completely, just feeling like you're knitting the rib cage back towards each other. So to do that, you can sit on the ball, placing the feet firmly on the floor, and place your hands anywhere on the abdomen, the belly to start. Take a breath in through the nose. And you should feel the belly coming out, slightly lifting underneath your hands. Exhale long and slow, and bring the belly back in as if you're slightly hugging baby. Inhale fully, let the belly lift up, and exhale again. Let everything rest back down. To try and feel the rib cage as well, you're going to place the hands anywhere on the sides or whatever way is comfortable for your hands. And as you take a breath in, try and feel the rib cage moving out to the left and the right. and then exhale completely. Allow everything to compress back down. So breathing in through the nose, you want to feel the belly lift up and the ribs move out to the side. Exhaling, allow the belly to fall back down and the ribs to fall back down as well. So you're trying to knit them back towards each other. So just try and practice that breathing. Inhale slowly through the nose and exhale, trying to lengthen the breath out. So you're kind of working towards double. So if you were to breathe in for a count of 3, you would exhale towards a count of 6, but don't force it. If you get to 5, that's grand. So you can practice that, and that will really help release tension in the pelvic floor. So I hope you found this video really helpful. Please click the little like button, please subscribe to the channel, and do share it amongst your friends or anyone who you think might find it useful. Thanks so much.